everybody! I'm here today to tell you to never make this mistake when jump starting your car. In this video, I'll be going over a dangerous mistake that you should always avoid making when you are jump starting your car. So if your battery dies and you have to jump start your car, most people just think to simply connect, the red to the red, the black to the black, the positive to the positive, the negative to the negative. And that is partially right, but there is something within that can actually cause something dangerous to happen. So you should never connect the negative jumper cable to the negative battery terminal on the car that doesn't work. So here's the thing, you're going to have a car that runs that you're going to use to boost the car that doesn't run. On the car that does not run, what you don't want to do is you don't want to connect the negative jumper cable to the negative battery terminal on the car that does not run. And I'll tell you why, and then I'll tell you what you should do instead. So this is the reason why, okay? If you do that, okay, it can cause a spark. And that spark can actually lead to an explosion, okay? So here is the thing. There's hydrogen gas, around the battery when you're doing something like that. There could be hydrogen gas around the battery. And a spark mixed with hydrogen gas could, in theory, cause an explosion. It's not likely to happen, to be honest with you, but it can definitely happen. So to avoid that, what you want to do is you want to instead connect the negative jumper cable to basically a bare metal ground on the car that doesn't run. So let me tell you what you should do, okay? So you want to go on the car that runs, and you want to connect the positive jumper cable to the positive terminal of that battery, and the negative jumper cable to the negative terminal of that battery on the car that runs. So the car that is boosting the other car, and the car that runs, you want to connect positive to positive, negative to negative. As simple as that. Then you're going to go to the car that doesn't run, okay? You're going to connect the positive jumper cable to the positive battery terminal. Simple enough. But you're going to take the negative jumper cable end of it, okay, and you're going to connect it to a bare metal ground on that car. And this will sort of prevent this potential explosion from happening. It's literally as simple as that. That's the proper way to jump start a car. Now, on a side note, because we're talking about jump starting and I'm giving you some tips, once you've started the car that doesn't run, so you're gonna use one car to boost the other car. So when you go to the car that doesn't run and you start it up, you get boosted, okay? You then want to turn off the car that runs, because you don't want two alternators competing against each other. If you get two alternators competing against each other, it can actually fry the electrical system and it can cause thousands of dollars of damage. So a lot of people will leave both cars running because they think that it's going to charge up the other battery. And that is a very dangerous thing to do. What you should instead do is start the car that doesn't run, okay? Then turn off the car that runs immediately. And then while the car that doesn't run is running, what it's doing is the alternator is charging up the battery. You don't need to leave that other car on. It's a misconception. Your alternator will then charge up your battery. Just leave the car running. The car that was boosted, leave it running for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Rev up the engine a bit. It's going to boost, it's going to charge up the battery. You don't need to leave that original car that worked. You don't need to leave it running, okay? It's a misconception, and it's dangerous because two alternators and two batteries, it just doesn't work out. They're connected. You can fry up the electrical system easily. For many stories, and I've dealt with many people who got a boost and they left both cars running for 10 minutes. The car the boosting car was revving it up to try and help the other car's battery out, and then the next day their car doesn't start because there's an electrical component that's completely fried. So just basically never make this mistake when jump starting your car. I actually gave you two mistakes to never make. The first one was don't connect the negative jumper cable to the negative battery terminal on the car that does not run, on the car that needs the boost. Don't connect the negative to the negative. Instead, connect it to a bare metal ground on the car, okay? And also, don't leave both cars running. Once you've started the car that needed the boost, don't leave both cars running because it can lead to very expensive repairs. It's literally as simple as that. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.